Mr. Chair, hindi po kami nagbabakasyon, Mr. Chair.
Ang DOE, 2 days lang. Tama ba yun? Parang wala kayong urgency sa katawan, ayos lang. Can you please explain the rationale for this madness? At nagagalit ang tao, 2 araw lang kayo magtatrabaho sa harap ng krisis? Yan kasi,
Hindi po.
sinabi ninyo kanina na yung i-accelerate yung approvals. Ang daming nagre-reklamo, wala daw silang mahagilap sa DOE. Namamatay na yung tao ng gutom, hindi na makapaghanap buhay. Wala nang ani, wala nang pagkain. At ang DOE ay nagbabakasyon.
All of them are working even harder now than we, kahit ano.
Dapat lang po, dapat lang. But how does DOE manage the crisis if half of its personnel is away? Kahit i-zoom mo pa yan nakatakot-takot, kung nangangalahati lang at 2 araw lang, yan lang talaga maaasahan. Hirap na hirap yung mga pumupunta sa DOE, magpapapirma sa PNOC, walang tao. Andito Section 3 mo Eto, the DOE shall implement a hybrid work arrangement whereby officials and employees shall render 2 days on-site work per week. Ibig sabihin, wala sila doon. Sino naman ang magtatrabaho? Sinong pipirma? Sinong kakausapin? Sino mag-a-approve ng kinakailangan natin kapag ganyan? Kaya pala, pag nagtatanong kami, wala na kayong sinabi, kundi pag-aaralan, i-review, babalikan, pagmimitingan. Kasi nga, 2 days a week. Thank you very much. Of course, we have many comments about both the presentation of Secretary Balisacan in view of our experience in the past of the 2 oil shocks referred to in the 70s. It was very clear then that there would be a short-term plan which would comprise immediate relief as well as demand reduction and fuel efficiency. So 3 bagay yun dati, no? So maliwanag nun. Ngayon parang patse-patse, kulang-kulang yung ating plano, maliwanag yun. So unang-una yung energy stockpiling, ano? In addition to stability, I would enjoin everyone to also look for expansion because we don't know how long this is going to last. And one of the key efforts then, as mentioned by Secretary Garin, was diplomacy. Appropriately, we have Secretary Lazaro. However, hindi ko maintindihan kung bakit magpepermiso pa tayo sa US para lang bumili sa Russia, samantalang may Russian ambassador naman dito, no? Mabait naman. Are we no longer a sovereign nation with diplomatic relations with Russia, with Iran? Ang Iran was very, very helpful during the Houthi pirates issue with the seafarers. Ang laking tulong nila sa atin. At ganon din ang ASEAN na ang balita, ang Brunei, nagpapadala na ng langis sa ibang LGU, hindi dito. At yung demand-side restrictions, syempre, encouraging oil-saving behavior. Baka yung ibang may edad dito, naaalala pa ninyo si Chiquito sa Asyong Aksaya. Siguro maibalik na lahat yan dahil kailangan talaga natin transport restrictions, carpooling. We are making that effort in any case, reduction of speed limits, fuel, and other rationing. Intindihin natin, marami na nating ginawa niyan. At sa medium term, maliwanag yung monetary and fiscal stabilization. As Secretary Balisacan mentioned, we are in a much worse position than we were before COVID. Nevertheless, in the next 5 years, we should be able to improve resilience through institutions and through behavior. And finally, the long term, that's been mentioned repeatedly, structural reform, the energy transition, and so on. Napakaraming dapat pag-usapan. Subalit ako ay tututok predictably, syempre, doon sa agriculture, nandito naman si Secretary Laurel, baka naman matulungan tayo. Dahil alam po natin na nakakapagtaka, sabi nga ni Senator Marcoleta, bakit tayo na ang pinakamataas sa ASEAN? Nasa 280% increase, samantalang yung iba 10 pesos lamang. Ba't ganon? Pati Singapore, mas mura na sa atin. At ang pinakamalala dyan, yung diesel talaga ang lumobo. ang diesel tumatama na sa agrikultura. We have very, very dismal news today from Pangasinan, from our fishing coastal areas, from Palawan, Zamboanga, Jensan. At ang sabi nga sa Soxargen, 1 to 2 weeks talagang patay na kami. At sinabi talaga na hindi na nila kaya ituloy-tuloy kung hindi pa puputulin yung tax o may gagawing paraan dahil hindi nakakayanin at sirang-sira na yung export contracts natin dahil hindi sila makakapag-deliver. So nais kong tanungin kay Secretary Laurel, mukhang wala naman kayong presentation. Ang daing nila yung second oil importation ng 320,000 barrels. Makakakuha ba ang fishing sector dito? Kayo ang expert sa fishing. Ano po ang masasabi natin? Pati yung ating mga magsasaka, nakaraang buwan, anihan. Yun, problema sila. Diba? Kasi nga, anihan, wala naman mabiling krudo. Ngayon, ito naman fishery sector natin, nag-open season noong Pebrero, kailan ba? Biglang wala na talagang mabili na ma-afford. Ano bang magagawa natin para sa kanila?
Mr. Chair, may I?
Go ahead, Secretary Tiu Laurel.
Madam Senator. Basically, talagang titirik talaga yung ating fishing sector, lalo na yung commercial. Let's say, talking about General Santos fishing operators dahil ating 40% to 50% yung kanilang cost of production based on fuel. Ngayon, nasa 70-80% na ang cost of production on fuel. Kung hindi tatama ang presyo at 150 pesos per kilo ang kanilang benta, they will surely lose yung tinatawag na landed selling price.
Pero ano magagawa natin? Ako, alam ko na nagbigay kayo ng 3,000 sa mga fisher folk families. One time, big time lang yung 3,000 at gano'ng katagal yun. Paano kaya? At pati yung mga listahan, pinagdududahan doon sa municipal fisheries, yung BFAR list na napaka-outdated raw. Ano bang masasabi natin sa kanila? Dahil hindi pa nag-uumpisa yung krisis ng Iran, talagang alam natin, sila na, ang coastal sector ang pinakamahirap sa buong bansa. 2.5 times the rate of poverty elsewhere.
Mr. Chair, well, ang iniisip namin, basta kung mapopondohan lang, ay, let's say, sa commercial fishers and coastal fishing boat, kahit yung municipal na malalaki, for every kilo na binaba nila sa fishport ng gobyerno, bibigyan sila ng 10 pesos. But of course, that has to be funded. So that will help.
Maari bang mangyari na yung ini-import ng DOE, yung nababalitaan natin na 20 billion na inalat na ni Secretary Garin, i-avail ng mga fisher folk at saka ng mga magsasaka din directly instead of through Petron and others? Pwede bang ganun? Na diretso na yung gobyerno na ang mag-aalat?
I think
para may tulong din kahit papano
Madam Chair, Mr. Chair, ang kasama yun sa aming pinaplano dun sa uplift nga, no? Isang napag-uusapan namin dun is magbigay ng voucher per liter, like 10 peso per liter na voucher to the transport ng agri, no? Tapos sa fisher folk, then maybe sa mga fishing boats for their purchases ng fuel. The other idea is yung sa fisher folks nga is landed cost, no? Yung landed cost, yung landed price nila
price minus 10 pesos.
Minus 10 pesos. So,
Yun nga ang problema, ang dami yung pinag-aaralan. Sabi nila, hihikahos na raw sila sa loob ng 1 linggo. Wala nang magpapalaot. Pwede bang bilisan konti?
baka next week may decision na ho yun. But we needed the inputs of our economic managers and DOF on the matter.
Kasasabi lang po ni ang balita kasasabi lang ni Secretary Recto na ayaw daw niya magbawas ng VAT kahit from 12% to 10% lamang. Ang lupit naman.
That's a different matter, ma'am.
Parang, isa pa yung bigas, habang nandito tayo sa agrikultura, ang balita sa palengke, wala nang regular or well-milled. So, ang mapipilitan ka bumili ng 60 pesos talaga. Totoo ba yun? Bakit wala ng regular and well milled? Aga-aga naman kinapos. Katatapos lang ng ani.
Well, nandun pa sa ating, Mr. Chair, nandun pa sa ating rules na kailangan meron nakalagay yun, yung percent brokenness and everything. But mukhang hindi nga sinusunod at umiikot nga kami ngayon para sitahin nga sila. Doon naman sa presyo ng imported rice, meron na kaming iaakyat no, sa ating Pangulo from NPCC na rekomendasyon niya na bigyan ng price cap yung imported rice na 50 pesos per kilo and hopefully before the end of the month ho, ma-implement namin yun.
Hindi ba pwede magkaroon ng SRP din? Parati namin sinisita yung DTI at yung SRP hindi naman nasusunod. Mas malala naman sa DA. Halimbawa sa baboy, yung 170 naging 350 na sa retail. Ang laki ng Linobo, 170 pesos, yung live, ano? Ngayon, 230 na, yung live. Wala bang SRP dyan, tulad ng sinasabi ng ibang senador? Bakit naman lumulobo dito sobra-sobra sa ibang bansa? Hindi naman ganito. At saka bakit yung DA, wala namang control dyan?
Mr. Chair, basically, yun ang pinakamalaking problema namin sa DA. We can only impose or catch or kung under the Price Act. Kung SRP or MSRP, technically, we have no power even to nasitahin sila. Kaya yun din isang request ko na baka pwedeng may legislation tayo na especially in emergency, na the DA can do price controls on certain agri-goods.
Pero in the meantime po, ang tindi ng inyong registry and supervision over retailers, market vendors, markets, may magagawa naman siguro kayo. Hindi naman pwedeng sabihin may kulang sa batas, tapos na.
Sa ngayon, Mr. Chair, wala kaming magagawa dahil wala pa yung bagong Rice Act that will actually empower us to have all the...
Maski yung uplift, may emergency powers, hindi pwedeng sitahin yung mga nag-overprice ng labis-labis sa palengke.
Under the law, mukhang sa analysis namin, wala kami. Wala din kami enforcement.
Ako, hindi ako naniniwala. Baka yan ang paniwala sa DA, pero naniniwala ko, may uplift na, may emergency na, pwede na tayong pakialaman. Hindi naman tama yon. Pero, sige po.
Sige, ma'am. I will
tignan
do
po
more
natin
research.
yung uplift po. Napaka-late. Nung February 28, ano na ba date ngayon? April 13, andito pa rin tayo, pinag-aaralan pa rin lahat. Mabubulag po tayo sa kakaaral. Salamat po. May I call on Hans Kakdak, please, the Secretary for Migration.
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes. Ang balita, marami na rin nakauwi. Narinig namin na nagkaroon ng flight from the Emirates and another flight from Dubai. Tama po ba?
Yes po, ma'am. We had an 8 charter and one arriving this afternoon. Yes
So,
po, ma'am. Yes, there were a 9
Bali,
charter
ikatlo.
We have had 9 charters and of course, pero din hong commercial flights, sinasabayan ng commercial flights yung charter, so around 5,400 po.
Okay, can we please be provided with the breakdown of those flights and the numbers
Yes po, ma'am. Yes
that
po, ma'am.
were involved? Marami po kasi nagre-reklamo, sang katutak yung reklamo ng ating mga OFW na pineperahan daw ng gobyernong ito ang kanilang mga tiket kung paano daw nangyari na 190 pesos kada repatriation from the Middle East to the Philippines. Samantalang tumutulong yung Emirates government, pati yung Dubai, lahat tumutulong. Bakit times 3 daw yung pera? 65.36 million ang gagastusin. Hindi pa tapos ang issue sa Public Works Flood Control. Eto na naman kayo, wag naman sana pati kami gamitin. Ang dai-dai pong email, ang dami-dami ring reklamo. Pakipaliwanag bakit lumobo ng labis-labis, parating sinasabi yung fuel cost. Hindi naman nag-times 3 ang airline ticket at yung insurance hindi rin nag-times 3. Bakit sa DMW nag-times 3?
Ma'am, yung pong charter ticket per person runs up to a range of 96,000 to 127,000 per person. We charter a plane out of a Dubai charter company. Again, we have had the 8th one. the ninth coming in today. Chartering is our deemed method to bring people home faster. Dahil po dito, in a span of 5 to 6 weeks, nakapagpauwi po tayo ng 5,400 OFWs and their dependents. It will entail a cost, ma'am, to charter a flight. If we did this commercially, there's only one airline out of Dubai, and that's EK. It will take a bit more time. Ang estimate namin, maybe 3 to 4 weeks to bring in the same amount we brought in through charter. But having said that, ma'am, with the current ceasefire, nag-open up na yung seats. So we
Kaya nga
are...
nagtataka kasi yung ating mga OFW kung bakit ganyan, samantalang yung mga gobyerno doon sa Middle East, tumutulong naman at halos cost na lang daw binibigay. Alam nila yun, trabaho sila sa airline Kaya nagtataka sila. Kung pwede, nananawagan tayo sa mga oil companies na mag-unbundle ng kanilang price increases at nananawagan rin tayo sa DMW na i-unbundle itong mga cost ng ticket. Kasi pakiwari ng ilang OFW, sila pa yung ginagamit na kumita, na magkurakot. Pangit po yung dating
Hindi po, ma'am. Rest assured, there's been proper procurement of these chartered flights under the emergency procurement provisions of the Act of the Government Procurement Law, and there has been arm's length negotiation with the Dubai Charter Company, as mentioned. It is a reputable charter company, as clearly shown with the safe return of more or less over 4,000 OFWs. Rest assured, ma'am, we are always open to audit, have been since day one. But rest assured, ma'am, bukas po ang mga libro natin in terms of any investigation on the costing. As I said, chartering has always been the fastest way to bring people home. And that is the reason why we resorted to chartering. Having said that, ma'am, again, we are partnering this with commercial flights which are beginning to open up. PAL will now start landing, as we understand, in the Middle East. So this will vastly help po, ma'am, sa pagpapababa ng costing natin. But the short answer, ma'am, is we are open always to audit and investigate.
Napakaraming reklamo, no? Patulong na lang sagutin ng ating mga
Yes, ma'am.
OFW. Kasi nga, sabi nila, wala pa sa 60,000 pesos yung ticket dati, bakit naging 190? Wag naman daw ganon. Parang labis-labis. Marami pang magtatanong. May isa na lang huling hirit ako kay Secretary Garin. Alam natin, ang lead agency ng department ng krisis na ito, ang inaasahan na tutulong at tututok sa krisis ng langis ay ang Department of Energy. Tama po ba? Pati yung attached agencies, they are supposed to take the lead in handling the energy crisis as we understand it today, including ERC, NAPOCOR, lahat ng narito, higit sa lahat PNOC with legendary reserves kung saan man sila. And this is stated in your mandate. And the President also wrote that, in fact, there would be a cutting back in government agencies to 4 days. However, I am in possession of Department Order DO 2026-03-0006, under which the department, through the order of the Secretary, has adopted only 2 days of on-site work per week, with only 50% of DOE officials and employees reporting. And the rest is all work from home. In comparison to Memo Circular 114, they were mandated for a 4-day on-site work arrangement. Our private companies, in order to make a living and to stay above water, have chosen to stay on site 5 days. Hindi sila nagbabawas. Only a few companies like Del Monte and Aboitiz, nagbawas nga, Monday naman to Thursday. Ang DOE, 2 days lang. Tama ba yun? Parang wala kayong urgency sa katawan, ayos lang. Can you please explain the rationale for this madness at nagagalit ang tao? 2 araw lang kayo magtatrabaho sa harap ng krisis.
Mr. Chair, work from home doesn't mean that we don't work, ma'am. We work every day. We meet every day, even in weekends. We haven't stopped actually for 8 weeks already.
Yan kasi,
Hindi po-
sinabi ninyo kanina na yung i-accelerate yung approvals. Ang daming nagre-reklamo. Wala daw silang mahagilap sa DOE, PNOC for the approvals of contracts, for the approvals of different projects. Walang tao. 2 araw lang. Di nila alam kung sinong papasok, sinong hindi. Doon pa sa 2 araw, kalahati lang daw papasok. 50% daw yung memo ninyo. Bakit ganun? Kayo inaasahan. Namamatay na yung tao ng gutom, hindi na makapaghanap buhay. Wala nang ani, wala nang pagkain. At ang DOE ay nagbabakasyon. Tama ba yun?
Mr. Chair, hindi po nagbabakasyon ng DOE. I mean, we work from 8 up to 8 in the evening, doing meetings and doing everything that we can do just to keep our country sufficient in supply and monitor the prices. All of them are working even harder now than we kahit ano.
Dapat lang po, dapat lang. But how does DOE manage the crisis if half of its personnel is away? Kahit i-zoom mo pa yan nakatakot-takot, kung nangangalahati lang at 2 araw lang, yan lang talaga maaasahan. Anong klase yan? Lahat ng gobyerno, 4 na araw. Ang sabi ng Pangulo, 4 na araw. Ang private company, wala ngang tapang na magsara kahit 1 araw sa nervyos dahil ang sama ng kalagayan natin. Bakit kayo 2 days?
2 days, ma'am, because we are aware that we have to save energy and electricity in this. From the get-go, we wanted to
Sa
push.
sobrang saving naman ninyo, Secretary Garin, hindi naman yata tama na walang pumapasok yung mga oil stakeholders, lahat ng umaasa na makabili ng mas murang langis, walang mahagilap sa DOE. Wala raw katao-tao sa PNOC. Wala daw tao sa ERC. Ano ba ito?
Mr. Chair, the bureau that's OIMB, that's downstream, that's there all the time, even on weekends. PNOC is there also. ERC is there also. All the personnel na dapat nag-handle ng mga frontline natin, nandyan, Mr. Chair. Those that are not in the office are continuously working. These are all, we have had a system of e-signatures, and this is not lang. I'm sorry, pero hindi po I mean, you can see naman kung anong pinanggagawa namin over the last 8 weeks. It is not because they are at home and they are not doing anything or nanonood lang ng TV doon or hindi nagtatrabaho. We can show it in our accomplishments, Mr. Chair. Lahat po sila overtime yan. Hindi po nagtigil ang trabaho dahil work from home. The objective of work from home is not to stop working. It is to become more efficient. Ngayon po, we are trying to save for the country para
Hindi ba sinabi ng Pangulo na 4 days? Bakit kayo kinalahati pa yung 4 days? Hirap na hirap. Yung mga pumupunta sa DOE, magpapapirma sa PNOC, walang tao. Andito Section 3 mo Eto, the DOE shall implement a hybrid work arrangement whereby officials and employees shall render 2 days on-site work per week. Ibig sabihin, wala sila doon. Sino naman ang magtatrabaho? Sinong pipirma? Sinong kakausapin? Sino mag-a-approve ng kinakailangan natin kapag ganyan? Kaya pala, pag nagtatanong kami, wala na kayong sinabi, kundi pag-aaralan, i-review, babalikan, pagmimitingan. Kasi nga, 2 days a week.
Mr. Chair, PNOC is a GOCC, so I cannot speak for them, but I'm speaking in behalf of the
Pareho rin po.
But all contracts are all on deadline, Mr. Chair. Wala po kaming lahat po ng mga service contracts. We only have 30 working days for that to sign, and those are signed before the 30 days. Lahat po ng meetings, we are still ongoing with that. Even our oil companies, our bulk distributors, everyone po, minimit po yan. Wala pong tigil po yan. Even on Friday, I have I have 6 meetings with all the LGUs and that doesn't stop us from working. Just the fact that baka sa iba po pag work from home di sa magtatrabaho, pero eto po yung DOE nagtatrabaho. I don't know what the arrangement is with PNOC.
Secretary naman, paano pipirma ng mga permitting na sinasabi nyo na accelerated hybridization? Paano pipirma ng iba't ibang mga renewable projects? Walang tao dun sa opisina.
We're automated, Mr. Chair.
Pambihira. Hindi naman online yung approval eh.
It's online, Mr. Chair, because of the EVOS.
Hindi po. Marami po nagre-reklamo. In any case, I think that this memo that the lead agency will work as a mere 2 days a week in the face of this crisis is reprehensible and incomprehensible. Talaga naman habang ang taong bayan ay hirap na hirap, ang ating mga mangingisda ay naghihikahos, ang presyo ng pagkain at ang langis ay hindi ubus maisip, abay walang pakialam ang DOE at sila ay nagbabakasyon 2 araw sa 1 linggo ang pasukan. Yun lang ang masasabi ko. Maraming salamat po.
Mr. Chair, hindi po kami nagbabakasyon, Mr. Chair. We work very, very hard. I mean, all our USECs have individual assignments. Sa power, naayos po yung power. On the supply side po, non-stop po yan, paghanap ng supplier. On enforcement, our offices, even though wala kaming tao, pinupuntahan po lahat po ng mga reklamo. It's not stopping the work, Mr. Chair. Our efficiency is even higher now because we are, despite the fact that we are work from home. Hindi po na titigilan yan. If there are applications for service contracts for renewable energy, that goes through EVOS. And all of that is on time. Those are applications, we comply with it, with the legal requirement that it has to be finished in 30 calendar days. Wala pong deemed approved yan kasi bawal po yan sa DOE. So we are doing everything on time. And if there are applications, our frontliners are there. Naka-assign yan na dapat kung may nag-apply po ng gusto nilang bagong gas stations, the office of Director Rino is there and they're actually practically there 7 days a week because of all these problems, Mr. Chair.
Secretary, I have no desire to argue with you, but the facts are evident. There's only a 2-day week as far as DOE is concerned. At saksakan ang dami ng reklamo mula sa iba't ibang sektor, higit sa lahat ang sektor ng langis. Yun lang. Kaya siguro, kung maaari, balikan kaya natin itong memo ng ating Pangulo na 4-day on-site. At least man lang yung DOE. Bigyan ng konting diin itong krisis na hinaharap ng ating bansa.
May I suggest to the good secretary, I know that dahil sa EVOS law, lahat electronic. No? We push for that law na lahat electronic time-bound in approval. But I think because of the magnitude of the problem right now on oil supply, nako-focus lahat sa DOE. So may I suggest just to revisit that policy of 2-day work week. On the other side is also optics. No? Lahat nakatingin sa DOE. Pero kung 3 beses sa 1 linggo, hindi nakikita, no? There's also the optics problem rin in that sense. No? So may I just suggest to revisit that. Tingnan kung talagang effective and efficient ang nagiging output.